It's time to spill the tea.
Hello!
You there, and welcome to A Spoonful of Theatre.
And this is another one of our Spill the Tea podcasts where we review a piece of local theatre right outside the theatre foyer. My name's TJ, theatre practitioner and director.
And I'm Sam, a teacher of language, literature, and self-proclaimed show business lovey. And where are we, TJ?
We are right outside the Marina Bay Sands of the Sands Theatre. And what did we watch, Sammy?
We watched Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, a tale as old as time.
A tale of old as time, indeed, at the Sands Theatre, yes, where the staff got their customer service training at Changi Prison, where the audience can turn up whatever time they wish, and, of course, not forgetting where you pay your tickets full price and it'll be discounted an hour later.
Yes, well, I'm so glad you got that off your chest, Sammy.
I have thoughts, but we're not going to talk about those thoughts now. We'll save that for another time, because let's talk about Beauty and the Beast. What did you think, TJ? First thoughts?
Disney know how to do musicals.
They do.
And this is true classic Disney production. Theatre magic brought all the bells and whistles. This was not a reduced production that we often get here in Singapore. It was absolutely beautiful, classic musical theatre. And for once, a production at Marina Bay Sands that is actually worth the ticket price.
Yes.
So for me, I've had a really amazing time in the theatre. So thank you to all the cast and crew and Disney Productions for bringing this production here to Singapore. What about you?
Beauty and the Beast. I am old enough to remember when Disney first brought out Beauty and the Beast back in 1992, I think it was.
The year I was born.
All right, don't start. No, Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney stories, and this is the first time I've seen it on stage, and I loved every minute of it. It was absolutely spectacular, but I still have notes.
Of course. But definitely starting this with, I have had an absolutely amazing afternoon in the theatre. It as a musical theatre lover, what Disney have done with bringing Beauty and the Beast on stage. This is actually my third time seeing it.
Oh, right.
And my second time watching it in English. I did watch it in Mandarin when I went to Shanghai Disney.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, so that was very interesting. But it's just pure Broadway glitz and glam and spectacular. And adapting it to the stage when it's such a beautiful movie is tricky. And sometimes it's done really well, and sometimes it misses. But Beauty and the Beast just lends itself to that Broadway glitz and glam, and those classic songs just resonate with everybody even now. And the additions that they add into the show, because there's additional songs in the show, really push the story and really add something and don't take it away. So what about you, Sam? What do you think?
I completely agree. From the moment the overture began, I was sitting in anticipation of Belle and of course, Be Our Guest. And they absolutely delivered. And what I was not expecting was Gaston to be so epic. It just kept on giving. And it really did give that vaudevillian, that Broadway epic musical of, like, I think of Anything Goes or Ziegfeld Follies or things like that. It really delivered in terms of performance spectacle.
Honestly, even so many years later since the first time I watched it, I still remember the first time I watched Gaston. Like, the choreography is stunning, and it's full-on ensemble musical theatre, kick lines, tits and teeth, props, lights, throwing everything at it, but not just for the sake of it. It works, because I think we've also seen shows recently, the last few months, where you throw too much at things. I think back to Lord of the Rings, where they threw all of these things at the production, but it didn't gel.
Yes.
Whereas Disney threw all of this, but everything makes sense and it has a point and it has a purpose. So it's just amazing classic musical theatre, and just good. But it's family entertainment, but entertainment for anyone.
Yes.
That's what Disney do really well.
Yes. What did you think of the acting, the singing, the performance from the performance from the actors today?
I want to say that the ensemble, absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to start with the dancing. The dancing was absolutely incredible, like really tight, really on it. And the ensemble were giving their performances as well. The supporting cast actually, to me, shone the most today. The Mrs. Potts, the Lumiere, the Gaston, the LeFou, all of the supporting actors really embodied their roles, and we believed them, and they were consistent, and yeah, really, really, really amazing. Where the production let itself down for me was Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
For me, I couldn't get past Belle's vocals. She had a very twangy, very shrill voice, which I didn't find pleasant to listen to, and I love twang, and twang is actually very important in musical theatre, but it was very thin, and it was very like shrill, and it just, for me, it wasn't a pleasant tone to listen to, which drew me out. And the Beast just didn't have the power and the presence, and actually his acting was quite weak, I felt, throughout. One thing I will say is that I believe that the performer was a tenor, and actually the Beast is written as a baritone role. So one of the problems in the songs is if you cast somebody with too high a voice and they try and sing the belt note when it's a bit low in their range, it doesn't sound as impressive to the audience because it's not in that part of their voice where it rings. And that actor actually has a much higher range, so all of the Beast's high notes in those impressive songs didn't make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up because it was actually a bit too easy for him. So I think there lie a bit of a casting mishap in terms of his voice. So that's just a bit of technicality what I kind of picked up on. What about you, Sam?
I agree with you. I think the supporting cast carried the entire show. I thought they were wonderful. There was so much heart and authenticity there that I was always so happy when they were on. You mentioning Mrs. Potts and Chip, the little boy that played Chip, that's the moment that I was sobbing, crying at the end of the show. I've always loved those characters. But I also agree with you with the principals as well. I thought the Beast was as ferocious as a kitten, quite honestly. But what I would say is, I mean, you make the point about the voice. I also think it's the way the character was written as well. I think the character was written to be a petulant teenager. So I don't think it's necessarily the actor's fault. I think the way the Beast was written was a teenager with mental health issues, like #anxiety. Like, I just wasn't getting angry lords. I was getting no, I want it done my way. You know, that's how.
But I think that comes across because the actor's vocals were higher pitched. Because actually, it's the same as in the movie. So if he'd have had a lower vocal register with that, because the Beast is a bit smart because he's never had anyone to teach him better ways. That's kind of the story of the Beast. So I think that does exist even in the movie, and that is the story. But it's the way the actor placed it in his voice, and I agree, it did come across as petulant child, which then you're kind of not. You're not rooting. You're not kind of getting the right sense from the character when you're watching it.
I will admit it. I was rooting for Gaston.
Yeah.
I thought Gaston's performance was so good that I thought, I want you to win on your performance. You're doing so well. But also with Belle, I do agree with you there. There was something about playing fear or playing sadness or distress that just didn't hit the mark. Like the moment in particular where she's made the choice that she's going to stay in place of her father, and she was so casual about when she said to the Beast, "You didn't even let me say goodbye." Oh well, we'll carry on. Like there just wasn't the emotion that I was expecting there. But as I say, it doesn't take away from the wonderful time that I've had in the theatre, and again, the supporting cast did so well. Now, what about production magic?
Honestly, the production was absolutely incredible. The way they did the stage magic, the set, the lights, the projections. It's very hard to take a show like this on tour. The amount of container ships and things they must have had is insane, and the amount of costumes, and I mean, Disney has budget. Let's be honest, and they kind of spoil market a bit because they've got so much budget, so they can do all of these things. But I think for me, the big thing was it was just spectacular, and it was epic, and I think really enjoyed the visuals throughout.
I agree. It was cinematic, how they projected and scene changes and costume changes and all of it. It was so cinematic, and there was real practical magic as well, especially with Chip, where Chip is the cup on the table, but you're still seeing things, you're still seeing the legs of the performers behind him, and the audience around, and the kids were pointing at that saying, how is that possible? And that's real magic on the stage, and I really, really appreciated that.
I think we cannot finish this podcast without talking about costume.
They were beautiful, and they were just stunning, and the costume changes as well in the big epic numbers. I would have loved to have been backstage and see all the chaos that probably was going on when that was happening. But those costumes were absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely stunning, and like multiple costumes everybody had, absolutely, and every single costume seemed like it had like more Swarovskis than the Swarovski we saw. So like it was just absolutely gorgeous, beautiful detail, and what could have been really tacky in Beauty and the Beast is you really had like a proper teapot and things, but they were like proper costumed and designed.
Yes.
That it was a teapot, but it was also a beautiful piece of clothing. So that was really nice as well.
I think it's that Disney magic. You think of Lion King, how they turn human actors and animals into one.
Yeah.
How do they turn furniture and human actors into one? It's that Disney magic, that Disney craft. It's marvelous. Now, listeners, as you know by now, when TJ and I see a piece of theatre, we always rate it out of 5 spoonfuls. But we never reveal to each other how many spoonfuls we are going to give until the moment has come, and that moment is now. So, TJ, are you ready to share your spoonfuls for Disney's Beauty and the Beast at Marina Bay Sands?
I am indeed.
So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 3. Oh. Oh, now this very rarely happens that I'm lower than TJ.
Indeed.
Okay. Go on, TJ. 4 for you.
I had a great time in the theatre. Everything put together, the magic, like you are transported into a magical world with a story that everybody loves, really done, very performed amazingly overall. The thing that brought it down, honestly, if Beauty and the Beast were both stronger actors, I would have given it a 5.
Really? Right.
It was solid. Like the dancing was amazing, the set was amazing. I couldn't ask for anything else. Like when I want to go watch Beauty and the Beast, everything ticked my boxes except those 2. So I think it's a shame because actually I'd say overall I did probably feel more 5 than 4, but when I come back I was just frustrated that those 2 didn't quite meet it, and when they're the lead characters, that did bring it down. 3, Sam?
Yes, my reasons are exactly the same. I just think I feel a bit more strongly about it than you do. I think, I'm sorry, I just didn't believe in Beast. It just was not Beast for me. He was just petulant teenager that doesn't know how to be nice to people. Like, it wasn't ferocious and angry, and Belle wasn't scared or emotional enough for me. So and maybe it's because I have a longer connection to the story, you know, having grown up with the original way back in '92. I don't know, but that's not to say I did not enjoy myself. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I had a great time, and the production was amazing. We've seen some productions at Marina Bay Sands that haven't thrilled us, at least over the past year, but I think we can both agree that this one was really, really good, and I hope it continues with Marina Bay Sands for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we've said this many times before. It's when you charge that much for tickets, I expect a certain level of production, and this delivered the price point.
Yes.
Even though we didn't pay full price because we did get one of the many deals they always do, but we're not going to go into that. But this was value for money for the price that they were charging, and the cast delivered as well. So really, really amazing job.
Yes, and it's had a good long run, and it's continuing to play at the Sands Theatre until the 25th of January. So there's still a chance to buy tickets and they are available on Sistic.
Speaking of buying tickets, another quick shout out that we'd love to give is to the Singapore Fringe Festival, which is coming very soon. And obviously, those of you that follow Singapore Theatre News, it had a bit of a rocky road to getting to here, and maybe wasn't going to happen this year. So it's something that every single theatre lover should be going and supporting local theatre. So please go and Google Singapore Fringe Festival. It's playing over the next few weeks, and go find out the amazing shows that's coming your way.
Yeah, there's some good local productions coming up. Anyway, my tea's gone cold, love. Shall we leave it there?
Let's.
So that's cheerio from us. We'll be back soon.
And it's hurrah from me.
And to the cast and crew of Beauty and the Beast,
And anyone performing in Singapore theatre,
break a leg.